Hi, my name is Caitlin Chassie, and I will be doing a gun control speech. This is my live audience. And I will start. Gun control in America has been a significant issue regarding negligence and mass shootings. And it also brings up issues with the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms, which was made in 1791, nearly 250 years ago. With that much time in history, I believe that this amendment should be modified and there should be laws that pertain to background checks and permit holding requirements and other requirements to hold guns. I also believe there should be a psychological evaluation done for anybody who wants to own a gun. If this was done, I think many mass shootings could be ended and none would happen. So let's talk about the protocols for Connecticut. In Connecticut, along with 8 other states, you must hold a permit and get a background check. In all the other 41 states, you only need a background check, so there are no additional requirements in order to obtain a gun. This means there can be some loopholes that can be created. But what if psychological evaluations were added to the requirements on gun ownership? How do you think gun violence would fare? According to CT Public, just adding permit holding as a requirement for reduced gun violence by 40% and gun suicides by 15%. In 2007, additionally, Missouri repealed a law requiring permits. Violence went up by 10%. Even with a drop in gun violence, cases of mass shootings still happen. For example, the Dylann Roof case. He killed 9 people in South Carolina. It was a church shooting, and the court argued that he was mentally ill. The Stephen Paddock case with the Las Vegas Music Festival. He killed and injured 500 people. Investigators reported he had bipolar disorder, or BPD. And then finally, there is the Nikolas Cruz shooting. He killed 17 people in a Florida high school, and the Florida police interrogation videos show him hallucinating, talking to himself, hitting himself, delusional. According to NPR, at the time of Wednesday court session, Scherer addressed Cruz directly to establish his competency and ability to understand the proceedings. Cruz affirmed he understood what was happening. As for his mental state, he confirmed he was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. Later on in this article, and quote, in the years earlier, before the attack, Cruz was subject to dozens of 911 calls and at least 2 separate tips to the FBI. I ask myself, and you should ask yourself this as well, how did these people legally obtain guns? It's because the laws allowed it. These cases could have been prevented, but current law allowed it. By introducing new requirements, this could be solved. We could see a decrease in gun violence, gun suicides, mass shootings, and I believe that people would feel safer in America. If these people were subjected to psych evaluations, they would obviously not have guns. Background checks involve court records. It checks if you were a felon, if you have any outstanding warrants. It does touch upon if you were mentally institutionalized or had a psychologist But I think we need to add to the requirements. But we also need to look at the other side. The Bill of Rights, the Second Amendment, states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I took a Google survey of my public speaking class. Out of 15 people, 33.3% of people said it should not be changed. In my own opinion, it shouldn't. It should be modified or added to. I believe military-grade weapons should not be in the hands of citizens. Guns such as shotguns, handguns, or hunting rifles should be allowed free range, but any military-grade weapons should not be in the public's hands. It's time to change the amendment. It's time to change the laws. It's time to change the requirements. So we see these violent episodes of not being able to handle a gun properly. In 1791, it took 2 to 3 minutes to pick up, load, and shoot a flintlock rifle, which only put out 1 bullet. Now in 2021, with the right attachments, in 60 seconds, you can pick up, load, and shoot an automatic weapon that will put out 500 rounds. This is what we saw Stephen Paddock do. These attachments were fully legal that were used by Stephen Paddock, according to the ATF, which is the Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosive Bureau. In the same Google survey I took, 60% of people said the Second Amendment needed to change. That is 2 times the amount of people who said it should not be changed. I really do believe that if psych evaluations were done on people who wanted to own guns, I think gun violence would decrease by a landslide. The gun violence statistics and killing of innocent individuals can be changed. If enough people came together, we could change it. If the government heard us, we could change it. If psych evals were added to requirements, we would see change. It's sad to see so many students and individuals scared to go out in public, afraid that there will be somebody who is mentally ill with a gun killing people. It happens a lot, actually. We could see this with the 3 names I mentioned, and there's the Sandy Hook shooting, and I really do think that we can make a change.